Right, well, Colossal is a very unusual film. It stars Anne Hathaway as Gloria, who is a slightly out-of-control sort of person. She's living in New York with her boyfriend, Dan Stevens, a.k.a. The Beast, a.k.a. that guy from Downton Abbey. And he just is not impressed with her at all because she's lost her job, she's out of work, and she's got really into alcohol and partying. So she's often out all night and he has no idea where she is, and then she sort of crawls back to the apartment, clearly the worse for wear. So he says to her, look, you've got to get out of here. I need you out of the apartment, and you need to go and get your life together. We need to take a break. The relationship's over. She's devastated. And so she does. She goes back home to her tiny small town in America where she bumps back into some childhood friends. She ends up working for Jason Sudeikis, who she bumps into quite early on. And he's an old school friend. Now he runs the bar. So she's going to help out in the bar. Perhaps not the best place for a recovering alcoholic.
No.
Well, exactly. And while that's all going on, something really weird starts happening on the other side of the world in South Korea. A monster turns up in Seoul and starts terrorizing it, starts knocking down buildings. It seems impervious to all kinds of attacks. The world is entranced, and Gloria and all her friends at the bar are amazed by it as well. And through a weird series of circumstances, it becomes clear that Gloria and this monster may impossibly be connected somehow.
Really? That sounds very bizarre as a film.
It is very bizarre, and Phil, you know it is, because I played you a clip, and you were like, what is this? What is going on here? It's directed by Nacho Vigalondo, who I'm not familiar with, but he's done some fairly well-known short films, and one that I think it's called Time Crimes, which is a weird sort of time loop story where things get progressively weirder and stranger, and he's definitely appears to be into the magic realism approach with this monster appearing and transforming stuff. But I've got to say, listeners, I really loved this film a lot. It is really odd, and it's got fantastic performances. So I've got a clip for you. Phil's got his hand in the air.
I was hoping you'd play the clip.
Well, don't you worry, Phil. I'm on it.
Sometimes you like plow on, and I'm like, whoa, Laurie, hold on.
I'm so on it right now. I'm on it like a car bonnet, man. And this clip is just going to feature Jason Sudeikis' character, Oscar, chatting to Anne Hathaway on a bench. And in particular, they're both chatting about how their lives have not panned out how they expected and how glad they are to be in each other's lives all of a sudden. So here you go.
When they started downsizing, I was the first to go. Oh, you jerk, you already knew.
Yes, I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me? Why are you letting me, like...
Well, I don't know. I didn't want you to think I was creepy, like I'm some sort of stalker.
Oh, well, it's too late for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've been following me all these years?
Of course I have. Somebody actually made it out of here and did something special for once. Hell, look what had to happen for things to get interesting around here.
Giants attacking South Korea.
No. I mean, you.
Yeah, there you go. Kind of nice chit-chat that sounds more at home in a film like 28 Days. Do you remember that?
Oh, not the 28 Days Later zombie movie. You mean the Sandra Bullock recovering from alcoholism movie?
Precisely that, Phil. And one of the weirdest things about this film that I personally loved was that it jumps all over the place in terms of its tonal construction, and jumping along with it is the direction style, the music style, the dialogue, the performances. Everything shifts around, and the way that I've tried to describe it before is that it's like a kaleidoscope. So if you look through a kaleidoscope, you get all these different angles and perspectives on one thing, and that is what this film feels like. We criticize other films when the tone jumps around because it doesn't add anything and it feels like it was an accident. This film, it does not feel like an accident. So from my description of the plot there, Phil, you probably imagine this is about her rebuilding her life, right? Basically?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, no, it's not about that. That clip of the two characters on the bench, trust me, that is not representative of what either of those characters are really like for the film or what anything in the film is like. It is full of surprises. So I don't want to give too much away because I was dazzled by it. I jumped along and I thought it was absolutely bizarre, but it wasn't bizarre for the sake of it. Every new twist and approach to the story made me consider what it was, the central message was, or actually is the message shifting? What is it I need to learn? Who do I need to sympathise with? And what am I taking away from this? And I love that.
But the thing with a kaleidoscope and what you look at is very pretty and it looks very interesting, but there's no reality to it. There's nothing real. It's all kind of, it's a refraction of reality into something weird and wonderful. But you can't, if you were always looking like that, looking through a kaleidoscope, it wouldn't be that fun.
Well,
unless there's some reality behind it, unless you understand how there's something real which is being refracted.
That's a very good point, Phil. And there is a lot that is real here. There's a lot which is to do with people who don't know which way their life is headed. There's people recovering from things like alcoholism. There's sort of dealing with things from your childhood and your past and your expectations of life being different than you thought. There's stuff in there about friendship. There's stuff in there about relationships, and in particular about aspects of control and power dynamics between two people. There is so much real stuff in there that it doesn't just constantly feel surreal and weird. It really deals with real things, but you'll still be wondering by the end, oh, so how does that make me feel, basically?
Reassure me, it's not just some big giant metaphor, this monster in Korea.
No, well, it's not a metaphor, it's a device. It's a magic realism device. Don't give me that face. But it doesn't feel like a bash you on the head, oh, let's all learn a lesson about ourselves. It's not really like that. It's just raising a lot of questions. And one of the things I love it for is the fact that it doesn't tie everything up with a neat little bow. In fact, the very final shot of the film is my favourite one in the whole film, because without spoiling anything, it's a way of saying, oh, you thought that was finished, did you? Guess what it isn't.
I don't know, man.
Am I doing a terrible job here?
The more you talk about it, the more it sounds like awful. It sounds like the sort of film which I hate.
Let me add in some more conventional
and I think
things.
is meaningless and pointless and like, oh, what does it mean? I'm not going to tell you. It's up for you to decide.
I want you to
What's the point?
Because let me add in as well. It's genuinely really funny. It's very witty. Anne Hathaway is excellent. She plays someone who is kind of unlikable but relatable brilliantly, and I wish she'd done that more in her career. I don't always want her to play the kind of person, we really are hearts are supposed to go out to. I'd way rather she played someone like this.
Apparently girls hate her though, so maybe she's quite good at being the unlikable person.
Yeah, she's fantastic at that. And Jason Sudeikis, man. I mean, I know him more from comedy stuff, and he's great in this. As a dramatic actor, he has got power to his performances.
I'm
and
shocked
subtlety.
and appalled at that idea.
Are you really?
Because I'd only ever seen him in Horrible Bosses, and I thought he was a bit forgettable, and he just seems like Jason Sudeikis in that scenario.
Yeah, no.
And of course, he's done the Saturday Night Live thing, sketch comedy, and I've never felt like he's just playing himself. And I don't ever feel like that disappears.
Watch
but you're
the film.
saying,
watch it.
Okay.
Okay, and final thing to say on this before I give it a grade, because we do have 2 reviews to do, obviously, is that one thing I find fascinating is that it was produced in partnership with Legion M. Do you know who they are, Phil?
No, I don't.
You should learn. In fact, we all should learn and go and invest, because they are a fan-owned movie financing house. So you could have invested in Colossal and played a part in bringing the film to production. And isn't that interesting?
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, worth looking up. Legion M. I won't go on and on about it here, but really fascinating project. And isn't it amazing that a fan-owned studio has produced this, which is certainly not mainstream and many people's cup of tea?
What's the grade you're giving it?
I'm going to give it an A-.
Whoa.
I'm still thinking about it, and I loved the performances. Excellent effects. I love the direction. There's fantastic the storybook feel to things. The guy switches between profile Wes Anderson-y, like dolly shots, and it's just brilliant. I think it's great. I also love the music. Bear McCreary,
gosh.
Fantastic.
I honestly don't know what to make of this. I kind of feel like I need to see it, but I don't want to see it because I'm worried it's going to disappoint me and be exactly what I think it might be.
What's the worst that can happen, Phil? You can come in here and tell me how wrong I am, and I know you love that.
Yeah. It's like the Dr. Pepper of a film.